not depending on punch power, you know. You know what, it takes a lot more than that to be a great fighter. A lot more than that to be a great fighter, so there's various ways I'll win. But I got the fighter spirit, and that's how I'll go in there and break him down with my spirit.
So after this.
But he can't though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not even equipped to fight this dude. He's not. It's going to have to be a bunch of stuff in there. Joshua will punish this man.
It's impossible for somebody like Anthony Joshua, who is so big and so strong, to even think he's going to take it easy. Because even if he tries to take it easy, he's so powerful, so strong that even those punches that are being easy are still gonna.
At the press conference, Anthony Joshua directly confronted Jake Paul, warning him that he is being delusional if he truly believes he can win. Joshua didn't hold back, pointing out the vast gap in skill, experience, and physical capability between them. He openly admitted that he is taking this fight largely for financial reasons, calling it a smart business move more than a competitive necessity. But he reminded everyone that once the bell rings, business ends and boxing takes over, and in the ring, he remains the far superior athlete. Joshua made it clear that his size, power, and championship pedigree put him levels above Paul, and any belief otherwise is nothing more than wishful thinking.
I deliver what I was supposed to deliver years ago. I deliver what they ran from. I deliver what he asked for $50 million for. I'm gonna give him a $50 million knockout.
I honestly listen to what people say sometimes. They're avoided, this person's running. I honestly think some people are deluded. Really, I do think that they've got some sort of a long-term concussion, because no one's running. In terms of 50 million, I'm a businessman. If there was 50 million...
Chris Algieri explains that for Anthony Joshua, this matchup arrives at the perfect moment. After experiencing a period of inactivity and coming off a disappointing loss, Joshua needs a fight that can help him rebuild confidence without exposing him to unnecessary danger. He describes the bout as a strategic reset, a way for Joshua to regain rhythm, timing, and ring sharpness in a controlled environment. Algieri compares it almost to a glorified sparring session. Joshua gets a major payday, little risk, and the chance to step back into competition without the pressure of facing a top-ranked heavyweight. Financially, mentally, and physically, the fight serves as a clean slate, offering benefits on all fronts.
What are we talking here? Like, it's going to be an exhibition? No, it's a fight. You're a heavyweight. You're calling out heavyweights. You're calling out a heavyweight. You're calling out Anthony Joshua, former world champion. You're calling him out on short notice. It's a fight. You're going to wear 10-ounce gloves and you're going to fight 10 rounds, and that's what it is. I don't understand any idea of anything else. Oh, it's going to be 8-2s? Is it going to be 15-ounce gloves? What the hell are we doing? This is boxing. You want to fight a real guy? You're fighting a real guy, which I am very respectful. And I respect the hell out of Jake Paul if he does step in the ring with Anthony Joshua. No matter what happens, kid's got balls of steel, and I applaud you.
Well, the reason I say we don't know yet because Jake Paul has fought in his last fight with Gervonta Davis was going to be an exhibition. They had to do that because of the weight difference. This is still a weight difference here. I mean, Anthony Joshua...
No, there's not. No, it's not. It's heavyweight. It's the same weight class.
Well, what do you consider Jake Paul? Cruiserweight or heavyweight?
Heavyweight. How much did he weigh his last fight?
He's fought at cruiserweight. He's also fought at heavyweight. Against Tyson was at heavyweight.
What was his last fight? He's a cruiser. He's a heavyweight.
What was
he
his
was
last
too. It was
his last
Mike
fight was
Tyson.
at cruiser against Chavez. Whatever, you know what I mean. Like the reason Gervonta Davis fight.
He fought Chavez after Tyson. I guess Tyson was that long ago. Wow.
Yeah, it was a year ago. This week, I was looking at my Instagram memories. I was in Dallas, Texas, getting ready for me pooping my pants on Netflix. That was about a year ago. Exhibition. These are questions that are asked. These are questions that are attached.
Eddie Hearn addresses the negotiation challenges surrounding this fight, saying Joshua is absolutely interested, but cautious. According to Hearn, Jake Paul has a history of announcing fights and then backing out or delaying them, creating instability for opponents trying to prepare. This unpredictability forces Joshua's camp to stay flexible and mentally prepared for sudden changes. Despite the risks, Hearn acknowledges the massive financial upside. If the fight actually materializes, it could become one of Joshua's biggest paydays ever, drawing huge attention from both boxing fans and entertainment audiences. Still, he emphasizes that excitement must be balanced with practicality. Managing Paul's unpredictability while protecting Joshua's long-term career requires disciplined planning, patience, and readiness. In Hearn's view, the fight is a major opportunity, but one that must be handled with precision.
Paul news seemed to come to a surprise for many. How close are we to making that fight, Eddie?
Not that close. I mean, there are conversations. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. But if he's serious about the fight, and if it can get made, there's a very good chance we'll do it.
Is it on Netflix, and what did DAZN have to say of the fact that it might?
One of the hurdles to overcome. But we were going to have an 8-round run out in December. Just so happens it might be against Jake Paul.
Have you spoke to Nikisa? I know you're not friends with him. What are the conversations you've had?
That's who we're talking about, you know. And if they're serious, and if it's real, there's a good chance. But listen, we could wake up tomorrow and he's announced another opponent and he just used AJ's name for clout. Listen, I have to respect him if he takes the fight. But who knows?
What do you think Dana White will make of this fight?
I mean, he did Mayweather against McGregor. He doesn't like Jake Paul. I really couldn't care less what he thinks about the fight. AJ's going to make close to or around a career high payday, and we'll take.
Paulie Malignaggi weighs in, stating firmly that Anthony Joshua will not treat this fight as a joke, even if it's labeled an exhibition. He explains that Joshua has never been the type to overlook opponents. Once he steps into the ring, he brings absolute focus, discipline, and technical sharpness. Malignaggi points out that Joshua's timing, footwork, and ring IQ allow him to exploit flaws instantly, something Jake Paul has never experienced at this level. Ryan Garcia echoes this point, adding that even if Joshua chooses to tone down his aggression, his sheer size, accuracy, and natural punching power make every shot dangerous. Together, they emphasize that this fight carries real physical risk for Paul. Joshua's years battling elite heavyweights have hardened his instincts, giving him complete control over pace and distance. Analysts stress that Paul must be fully prepared and strategic. One mistake could be catastrophic.
Bag now, and if you listen to this, it's definitely out of the bag.
Yeah, Fight for 84, big boxing movie that's hitting Netflix soon about the Olympic 84 team starring Jamie Foxx and Chris Algieri.
I'm not starring in anything, but whatever. Yeah, no, I got a credit. I'm in it. I got some lines. So
That's amazing. That is so cool. I mean, this couldn't get any cooler. You're now in the movie, which is absolutely absurd.
yeah.
What a
I mean,
day.
hopefully,
What a life.
Hopefully, maybe there'll be more of this. Who knows? Who knows?
I think it's just the beginning. I think this podcast is numbered. Our days are numbered.
No way.
guy's
I'm
going Hollywood.
never letting this go, Dan. This is. I'm a ride or die.
I hope you get so big and become such a big actor that you are like delaying production because you have to film our podcast in your trailer.
Chris is in his trailer. He's got to finish his podcast with Dan.
They're like, who's Dan? Johnny Drama style.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, just
When he was
total,
on the set of
total
Five
diva.
Towns.
Just total diva in every way possible.
Yes. Like we said, this episode is brought to you by PPV.com. December 6th, we're going to see Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. And guess what? We're going to talk to Lamont Roach on this episode. I caught up with Lamont and to get his thoughts on the fight with Pitbull, to get his thoughts on Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, which we're going to get to in a second, to get his thoughts on 140, potentially fighting at 135. That's coming up in just a little bit with Lamont Roach. Don't forget to order that fight with us at ppv.com and all the good stuff that comes along with that. That's December 6th. Lamont Roach is an awesome interview. Great guy.
Awesome guy. Forget the interview. He's just a good dude. I told you to tell him what's up. You probably did.
He said, what's up? He goes, where is he? I said, he's on a movie set. He goes, oh yeah, he's got those movie star looks.
See, that's what I get. But yeah, no, he's a good dude. We see him. He trains down in Florida now. He's over at the Pro Box TV training facility. So we get to see him down there training. He's whipping on all the guys over there. But good people, good dude. Good. His dad's awesome. His brother Jordan's great. He's another one to look out for. I think he's a flyweight? I think he's a flyweight coming up, or bantamweight. But yeah, great family, good boxing family, great boxing heritage.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that mega card. Big card December 6th, and he's the headliner. So we're going to get to him in a second. Some big news broke. Shocking news. According to Ring Magazine, Anthony Joshua is going to step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul. We don't know yet if it's an exhibition. We don't know yet the rules set. We don't know the date. These are preliminary talks that are ongoing. Yes, I work for MVP.
Dave Allen criticizes the idea that Joshua shouldn't fight Jake Paul because it feels like a novelty matchup. He argues that Joshua is still in peak form, not a retired or aging boxer lacking speed or strength. Joshua maintains all the tools necessary to dominate any opponent, especially one without elite experience. Allen warns that casual fans misunderstand the danger Paul faces. They see the entertainment value but overlook the fact that Joshua is a world-class heavyweight who hits harder, moves faster, and thinks quicker than anyone Paul has ever shared the ring with. The fight may be marketed for show, but the risks are real. Allen warns that underestimating Joshua is a mistake. He has the ability to end the fight whenever he chooses.
Of it was probably shouldn't be licensed, but Florida are very kind of easy commission to get. Yeah, it'd be called an exhibition. It
will be an exhibition.
It probably would be called an exhibition.
What's the point?
For me, as long as that fight you mentioned just now, Spencer, as long as that roadmap is there and it's signed, that he fights an interim guy as a warm-up afterwards and fights Tyson Fury next year and Fury's on board, I'm great with it. Otherwise, I do think his legacy's damaged if his last fight is with Jake Paul.
An exhibition is a waste of time. They're for retired fighters. For retired fighters, it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, listen, the guy's still in his athletic prime. I personally don't see the reason why they can't just do the Tyson Fury fight. Why do we need interims?
Well, we all want that.
Yeah, but why do we need interims? Why do we need warm-ups? We're talking about two experienced guys who've been the best, as you just said, of the last 10, 20 years. Let's get the fight on.
It's as ridiculous as Gervonta Davis going in with him, basically, isn't it, with Jake Paul,
Quite
frankly.
different mindsets. And what, again, listening to Eddie today and what he was saying, the damage that Anthony Joshua has suffered mentally, not physically, because physically he's still all there, but mentally against Daniel Dubois, he needs to go through that process again. And they said, and that's just the whole getting your hands wrapped up, doing it, whether it's Jake Paul, whether it's a top 100 fighter, you go, that's the way Anthony Joshua ticks. He needs that before going into the... All roads lead to Fury, right? We all know that. Whether Fury...
Analysts highlight that Jake Paul is finally entering a fight where the opponent is not past his prime, retired, or significantly smaller. Joshua is active, physically primed, and vastly more powerful than anyone Paul has faced. This makes the fight intriguing from a competitive standpoint, but also extremely dangerous for Paul. They stress that Joshua's strength, reach, and experience create a serious health and safety concern. While fans have been waiting to see Paul test himself against a real boxer in his prime, this particular matchup could result in severe physical consequences if Paul is not fully prepared.
Maybe even bigger than the Mike Tyson fight. It's hard to say really. Tyson was a big name, but it's going to do numbers regardless because Joshua is a big name and then people are going to be tuning in to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right now, Eddie Hearn talks about Jake Paul taking this Joshua fight.
I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signed to fight Anthony Joshua because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. Like, you know, I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, you know, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, you know, because that would be, because AJ would mess around in there, you know, so it would be huge, but nothing, you know, to tell you it's close, just a few conversations so far.
Damn right, if Jake Paul takes this fight, he's got some major balls on him. And I know people hate influencer boxing, but come on, he's not fighting an old, retired, past the prime MMA fighter. No, he's fighting a legit boxer who's massive, 6'5", 6'6", jacked, 240, 250 pounds, shredded, power puncher. Do we need to remind ourselves of what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou was coming off a pretty good performance over Tyson Fury. He didn't get the win in that fight, but you could argue that he did actually win that fight. And Ngannou, throughout his entire MMA career, in 4-ounce gloves, very rarely got hit. He could take a punch. He's got a big, fat African head. Big, thick neck, traps, back. He just can't really be hit. And look what Joshua did to Ngannou. Out cold. So what do you think Joshua is going to do to Jake Paul? Jake Paul better start loading up on that Trenbolone. He needs to start eating Anavar like...
Experts remind viewers that Anthony Joshua is not just a former heavyweight champion, he is an Olympic gold medalist with elite pedigree. His technical precision, ability to read opponents, and ability to adjust mid-fight separate him from the level Jake Paul has been used to. They argue that even small mistakes, which Paul frequently makes in fights, could be punished brutally by Joshua. His experience against world-class fighters gives him instincts and reflexes that Paul cannot match at this stage. The difference in levels is enormous.
gold medalist, unified champion at the heavyweight division. He is 6'6", 250 pounds. And also, I do think.
Oh my God!
I do. God, Jake Paul 6'1" and about 220. I want to say this though. I think Anthony Joshua, he's made stupid money in his career, dumb money in his career. I don't think he's going to be in a position to be accepting BS terms with Jake Paul if this is really what's going to end up happening. I think we're actually going to get to see Jake Paul against a former heavyweight champion of the world. Do I think that's a smart idea? Absolutely not. For Jake Paul, do I think it would sell? Absolutely. Do I think it'd be very interesting and people would tune in to see if he gets his head knocked off? Absolutely. I genuinely, I hate to say it.
Analysts emphasize that this fight demands full seriousness. Joshua's physical advantages, his height, reach, power, and world-class conditioning give him near total control over the range and tempo of the fight. Paul enters a world where every decision matters, and every misstep can be fatal. Experts also highlight Joshua's sharpened defensive skills, honed through years of facing top-tier heavyweights. His ability to block, slip, and counter makes him extremely dangerous, even against unpredictable opponents like Paul. They conclude that the matchup is not a gimmick, it is a serious test for Paul and a controlled showcase for Joshua.
We sees what Alexander Usyk, who's now the undisputed, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time now after beating all these guys. He was a smaller guy, went up, he's like 6'2", 6'3", about 200 pounds at first. Now he's probably sitting at about 220, 230. Similar size to Jake Paul. Went up and beat all these guys. Granted, Usyk, greatest amateur boxer at that weight class ever. I think it's going to be interesting, but I do think Jake Paul is in a good position.
The only fear is this.
I hate to give him credit.
If Jake Paul gets his block knocked off completely.
Yeah, very possible.
The Jake Paul experiment is over. It's a wrap. Because if you step into the ring, everybody thus far is wondering and has wondered, like, what would happen versus a legitimate boxer?
Yeah.
And in their relative shape. Not a 50-year-old Floyd.
Yeah.
Not a 60-year-old Mike. We've all asked ourselves, well, what happens if you fight a real fighter? The problem is, once you fight a real fighter and you get beat down, the hypothesis is gone. So now we don't need to wait to see the experiment. Y'all know what we do every year. We say the best college team could beat the worst NFL team.
Yeah,
and it's a fun debate.
Yeah.
Because if you don't really know ball, if you don't really know ball though, you'll be like, man, but if 10 players on Georgia would start for the Cleveland Browns right now. But if they actually...
Ad Oladipo explains that this fight has become one of the biggest spectacles in boxing, drawing global excitement. Joshua's decorated background, Olympic gold and heavyweight championships gives the matchup credibility, while Jake Paul's massive fanbase brings unprecedented attention. Fans are expecting intensity, drama, and possibly a knockout. Oladipo notes that Joshua's reputation and power ensure the fight won't be treated like comedy. It's a global event, heavily discussed across boxing circles, sports media, and mainstream entertainment. The scale of anticipation shows how significant this clash has become.
And this is, for Jake Paul, a much bigger fight than fighting Gervonta Davis. And I mean bigger, not just in the sense of who he's fighting and the size of AJ, I mean bigger in terms of numbers. Like Jake Paul versus AJ does way bigger numbers, for me, than Gervonta versus AJ. I think this actually does bigger numbers than Terence Crawford versus Canelo. I really do. I think this is, again, if it makes money, it makes sense. Let's talk about the negativity. And look, I get it. Like, if you're like me, I still believe, and look, some might say, well, AJ's just going to pick up, who knows what the numbers are, 80, 100 million, right? And then continue on his trajectory or career to potentially become a world champion again. I don't like this pause, if this is just me. I still believe that AJ can do damage in the heavyweight division. I believe that. Again, some people are like, no, he's done. Okay, cool. I believe that AJ can do damage again. I look at the heavyweight division and I remove Alexander Usyk from it, and I'm like, AJ can beat a lot of those guys. So I like the idea of AJ staying busy and having real fights against real heavyweights. So I'm not a fan of this pause, especially considering that we've not seen AJ in the ring since September 2024. It's a long time. It's a long time. So if AJ has this fight, we're not going to see AJ in the ring properly until the spring a long, long time. If AJ was busy, and then had this fight in between, I guess I wouldn't be too mad with it. I get it, right? If someone knocks on your door and says, do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million? You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be. And
The video concludes with a reminder to stay tuned for more updates and coverage as the event approaches.